I will remember that until the day that I die. But I remember back then pushes were a big thing. You know, we did deer drives. That's just kind of how they moved deer around. And we were over here off the Grand River in Pryor Creek area, and we was going to do a push, and it was just me and my dad that day. And he's like, man, you go over here and set, go across this field, get in the woods and find you a place to set. I'm going to go up this ridge and work my way to you. You know, take me about 45 minutes to an hour probably to get it done. I was like, all right. I get all the way across that field, almost into the woods, and I look, and I guess as soon as my dad went in the woods over there, he jumped this group of deer. And there was like 8 does and 2 bucks, I'll never forget. And the 2 bucks were in the back, and they both looked identical. And at that point, man, all I seen was rack. They were, you know, they were both basket. I mean, this ended up being a basket rack 8, but it didn't matter. And they ran straight at me. And I'm standing at the field edge, and they see me finally, and they cut across away from me. And as they do, they're maybe 60, 70 yards at this point, and I just lay that shotgun down and shoot. And man, that buck just somersaults, falls down, gets up and runs all the way back across this field into the woods. And my dad, of course, hears me shooting. He walks over there, and I'm telling him what happened. He's like, okay, where's the deer? Well, we couldn't find any blood. And now he's like, you know, he's I don't know if he's not believing me. You know, he's not, you know, did you really shoot at a deer? What's going on here? Why is there no blood? You said you hit it. And I finally looked at him, and might have been crying, you know, as a young kid. But I was like, the deer physically fell down when I shot. Do deer trip? You know, is what I was at. I was like, the only way he fell down. So at that point, my dad was like, well, if the deer really fell, you hit him. So we go look, and all I remember is I watched where the deer ran in the woods and it's probably 200 yards across there. And we get over to that edge of the line, still no blood. Not one drop did we ever find. And I'll never forget, man, there was a lay down right there. And I'm basically sitting on that lay down because, man, I'm upset. My dad doesn't believe me. You know, I know that I watched the deer fall, what happened, and I look over, and that buck is laying at the end of that lay down that I'm sitting on, dead. And it was a basket rack 8 point at the time, but man, we're talking 19, what would that have been, 83 or 4, you know? Public land, you know, back then it was a public land hunt off the river over there, and that was my first deer. That was my first, and man, from that point forward, it's just all I've ever wanted to do.
Heck, I didn't even play sports in high school so I could hunt. Yeah, and that's not the only reason, but that was one of the main reasons. I mean, I had to work and all that for my own vehicle, and so I was like, well, I could get off work and go hunt, or I could go have to practice sports after school and then go to work and not get to hunt.